Welcome to Top 10 Beyond the Screen. I'm your host Johnny Rogers, and in today's video we'll be breaking down all of the films that sadly we'll never get to see in theaters because, well, Universal Pictures released Trolls World Tour without notifying theater companies, and AMC Theaters has blacklisted the studio and all of their future projects. But before we get into that, make sure you tap that subscribe button to join our notification squad, and that way you never get to miss another daily video from us. Now, without any further delay, let's just get right into today's list of the top 10 movies that got banned in 2020. In at number 10, Trolls World Tour. Who would have thought that a cartoon could cause such an uproar in the entertainment industry? When Trolls World Tour skipped their theatrical release and went straight to the on-demand providers, AMC Theaters took this as a threat. They trashed the studio for only considering their own interest and thus breaking a deal that the two companies previously held. Universal CEO Jeff Shell said that the studio still plans on releasing the movie in theaters, but now sees the potential in streaming services. Trolls World Tour made $95 million in just 19 days after the digital rental was released, but AMC and the National Association of Theater Owners were furious with Jeff's remarks about the new viability of on-demand services. AMC CEO said in a statement, "It is disappointing to us, but Jeff's comments as to Universal's unilateral actions and intentions have left us with no choice. Therefore, effective immediately, AMC will no longer play any Universal movies in any of our theaters in the United States, Europe, or the Middle East. This policy affects any and all Universal movies per se, goes into effect today, and as our theaters reopen, and is not some hollow or ill-considered threat." Definitely sounds like a threat. In at number 9, Fast and Furious 9. With AMC Theaters ending their relationship with Universal Pictures, we are going to see some massive changes to the film industry. Typically, big budget action films like this depend heavily on a theatrical release to make back the money that they spent on the movie. With that option now taken off the table, action movies from Universal might have to have, well, less action. I mean, we already have so many Fast and Furious movies, so this really isn't a huge loss in my opinion. According to CNN Business, the 9th installment of the action series will be pushing their theatrical release date from May 22nd to April 2nd, 2021. Although that being said, like most Universal films, this one will be blocked from appearing in any AMC theaters. In at number 8, Jurassic World Dominion. Another Universal Pictures film that was supposed to be making its debut will sadly be missing out on its big theater release with AMC. Jurassic World Dominion is the sequel to the 2018 film Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and it also is the 6th film in the Jurassic Park franchise and the final film in the Jurassic World trilogy. Currently, the release date has been pushed back until June 11, 2021 because of filming being interrupted by the lockdowns. Although with that much time between now and then, really anything could happen. Hopefully Universal and AMC can patch things up by then, otherwise we'll be watching this at home for sure. Also, with that much time for the actors to practice their lines, this movie better be great. In at number 7, Minions 2. Yet another Universal Pictures animated film is set to be released in theaters, is also being postponed due to the ongoing pandemic. With growing fears that they may lose money if they wait on this project, we could be seeing the Minions 2 Rise of Gru movie going straight to streaming services before ever hitting theaters. The film was originally scheduled to be released on July 3rd, but due to Illumination Animation being forced to close their studio in Paris, France, the film was unable to be finished. The new theatrical release date for the sequel has been set to July 2nd, 2021, but again, this is all depending upon Universal Pictures finding a way to work things out with AMC Theaters. I say that because AMC Theaters owns a vast majority of the venues in the marketplace, and if they keep up the ban on Universal, we may never see this movie hit theaters, and that would be a travesty. In at number 6, No Time to Die. With a $250 million budget, the next James Bond film is heavily depending on a theater-only release date to make that money back. The 2-hour and 43-minute action film will be the 5th and final outing for actor Daniel Craig as the fictional MI6 agent James Bond. Development of the film started back in 2016, and it was intended to be the first film in the series to be internationally distributed by Universal Pictures. Universal acquired the rights following the expiration of Sony's contract after the release of Spectre in 2015. But amid the pandemic shutting down filming and now the ban on Universal films, we may be waiting on this Bond film for a while. With worries of a second wave affecting cinemas reopening and people being scared to even go to the theaters, executives are allegedly considering another delay until 2021. And they can by no means afford to release this movie as a video on demand, so they may end up having to just cut a deal with a new theater company. In at number 5, The King of Staten Island. Starring Pete Davidson and written by Judd Apatow, this comedy film is set to be released on June 12, 2020 by Universal Pictures. It was originally scheduled to have its world premiere at the South by Southwest, but the festival was cancelled due to the pandemic, and it was then again rescheduled to have its world premiere at the Tribeca Film Festival on April 20th, but again, festival postponed because of the pandemic. For this film, it is actually scheduled to be released through video on demand, but it was previously scheduled for a theatrical release on June 19, 2020, which was scrapped due to the recent ban from AMC, which even for a small film like this shouldn't be taken lightly. AMC is the largest movie exhibition company in the United States and the largest in Europe and the largest throughout the world, with approximately 1,000 theaters and 11,000 screens across the globe. So being barred from that kind of exposure means that they will have to market this film in a whole new way just to recoup their costs. And your leading star is Pete Davidson. Good luck. In at number 4, Scoob. AMC also noted that they are not past banning other studios that decide to opt for a video on demand release. God, they're so jealous. I mean, before showing the film in their theaters, of course. This means that if Warner Bros. Truly does release Scoob as intended on May 15th, we may see them being banned by AMC as well. The film was actually previously set to be released in September of 2018 before being pushed back to May 15th, 2020. However, by the time that March rolled around, the film's theatrical release was delayed indefinitely due to the pandemic. In late April, Warner Bros. Announced that the theatrical release for Scoob had been officially cancelled. The studio said shortly after the cancellation that Scoob will be available for a 48-hour rental on premium video on demand services, costing viewers around $20 US. In at number 3, Bloodshot. With major movie theater chains closing, the Sony Corporation chose to release its Vin Diesel action film Bloodshot to at-home viewers in March, which also made them the second studio to officially break with the decade-long practice of giving cinemas exclusive rights to new movies. Bloodshot is about a soldier killed in action and revived by the US government for nefarious purposes. It's also based on the Valiant comic book character, and as you know, comic book films typically do better in a theater environment. You know, you and all your nerd friends get to just be like, oh wow, Easter eggs, so cool. And that theory rings true when you look at how much they ended up making from this decision to break ties with theaters. The film was initially expected to generate at least $17 million in its opening weekend ticket sales in North America alone, but upon being released online, it only sold just over $9 million in tickets, although there wasn't much of a choice for Sony. Tom Rothman, chairman of Sony Pictures Film Group, even weighed in on it and attributed the loss to extremely unique and exceedingly rare circumstances. That being said, when theaters do reopen, you may be hard-pressed to find another Sony film on the big screen ever again. At least if AMC has anything to do with it. Man, they're out for blood. In at number 2, The Way Back. The Way Back, starring Ben Affleck, is another Warner Bros. Film that opted with an early video-on-demand release. This decision again saw a big loss for the studio while simultaneously ruining the relationship with AMC theaters. Initially, the film was scheduled to be released in October of 2019, but was pushed back to March 6, 2020. Unfortunately, this is right when the pandemic shut down theaters across the world, thus delaying the theatrical release again. The film was not only released online earlier than expected, but Warner Bros. Also announced that it would be making the film available to own digitally instead of just for rent. Last but not least, in our number 1 spot, The Hunt. The Hunt had already faced a number of bans from the get-go, and that was before anyone even actually watched the film. Or it was before the pandemic even, this film was banned. The film was supposed to be released late last fall, however, with so many shootings in the United States, Universal felt that it would be insensitive to release it. Primarily, it was the mass shooting in Dayton and El Paso that stirred up all of this controversy around the film. People that had watched the test screenings for the film were also upset with the way that it pushed a political narrative. This comes from conservatives who believe that the film was encouraging liberals to shoot their opposition for sport. Apparently, the film was then reworked to alter the narrative, which was the version that Universal Pictures was releasing on March 13, 2020. As I've been mentioning throughout this entire video though, Universal and AMC are basically ex-lovers now, so the chances of this movie making it to theaters is slim to none. And even if it was in theaters for a little bit, it's only going to be like independent theaters, it's not going to get that wide audience where it can make back a lot of money. And that has been the top 10 movies that got banned in 2020. I know it was a bit of a stretch, but we got here. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to our editing team for making me look so good. If you enjoyed this video, you really enjoyed it, you loved it, you thought it was funny, you thought the editing was good, just tap that like button. It definitely helps us out. And don't forget to leave us your comments down below with your thoughts on my list. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is tap that playlist when it pops up. From Top 10 Beyond the Screen, my name is Johnny Rogers, saying until next time, stay classic. AMC CEO Adam Aron said in a statement, is it Aaron or Aaron? I don't even know. According to CNN Business. Buy Universal Pictures. God, Johnny. God, last time, I swear. Keep it or leave it. It's up to you. Again! Not again!